it shouldn't surprise you. And if I start telling you how these things are happening, very soon we'll have more than 6. You remember I told you in one of my interviews that I fear for Ghana because of the way people are taken into the police service and the kind of training that is given to them, if you remember. And I tell you, we should be expecting worse of things in the service. And recently, I even on the media told the police senior officers that if they don't stand and do the right thing and they fear politicians, very soon they will hold gun on them in their offices and demand from them whatever they want.
To you, this is just a symptom of a problem. Where do you think the issue is coming from? Because I was particularly scandalized when I heard 6 police officers and 4 of the police officers are actually in the same hideout as suspected criminals. Basically, they identify themselves as criminals by that action. What is the problem?
Yes. Yeah, Senator, this morning, let me greet your listeners and then come clear. You know, the normal way or recruitment goes by an advertisement, which spells out academic qualifications, body structure, age limit, and so on. And so, when you apply, you will go for an entrance examination after a body selection. And then, you will not be allowed to start training when you are picked until 3 months. What is the 3 months done used for? Your schools are visited. How is it done? The enlistment office will send documents to the various regions and the schools that appear on your certificate. And they will go and investigate your background and even in the community where you were born and you stayed according to the information that are on your application form. So before 3 months, when you are written to come to training, it means you qualify. Very well. Now, because behavior is equal to person over time in an environment, your training is taken. Training is not 6 months in police. If anybody tells you, only drivers are trained normally within 7 months. But general duty men, policemen, are trained 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, and 12 months, depending on the time. Nobody is trained lesser than that. With the mind that after your training, even within the training, if you are a weed smoker, you cannot hide it. You will be known. If you are a thief, you will be known during the training. And I will tell you, there are recruits that we have trained. Today, some are even out of the service as magistrates. They train as lawyers, and they have gone. We trained them, and within them, some were stealing at the training school, they were dismissed. Some were smoking weed, they were dismissed. So you see, by the number of months, you are able to eliminate the bad nuts, if not all. So when they go onto the field, they are still observed for 18 months before they are confirmed to become policemen. This is the normal routine. But today, political influence has made it that I can tell you from the year 2002, this thing started happening in Ghana. And President Kufuor opened the floodgate for party foot soldiers to join police. With at the helm of affairs was Asamoah Boateng Asabi. I was at a training school when he loaded dense bus of people from Central Region. These policemen, some could not speak English. They don't have certificates. They are not even masons or shoemakers. Let me say cobblers. We trained them with tree and pigeon. These people, there was no way to even investigate their background because they even came to the police station before we fill application forms for them. These people passed out, and I tell you, most of them have been jailed for robbery. Some ran away from the service after committing crime. So, number one, The police must go. The police administration should go to Mr. Retired Commissioner Boachi Apia. If he is listening to me, they were the people who recruited the best people in police from 1990 to 1999, where Mr. Dampari is one of those they recruited today. So the good policemen, after the year 2001, the criminals started coming into the service by the floodgate of politicians. They opened the floodgate and bring in any kind of person without any investigation of their background, without any academy, without even the zeal, the desire. They don't want police, but they force them in. So when they come, what do you expect from them? So if we want this problem to be solved, number one, we should go back to the enlistment processes. Police enlistment is not by application online. This system is a bad system. You see the advert and you report at the various depots. You don't have to fill any application form and spend money when you will not be taken. As I'm telling you, from 1990 to 1994, the process of enlistment was one. You see the advert. If you think you qualify, you hold your certificate and you go to the training school. And then they will select your body, select everything. If you qualify, you write exam. If you pass, then you will be allowed to stay home for 3 months when investigation is done into you. When you come to the training, you will spend not less than 8 months. Only drivers are trained 7 months and 6 months. But within the COVID last year, policemen were trained for 3 months. 3 months. Even our weapon training alone takes 6 months, 6 weeks before you can even take them to range to fire. But policemen entirely were trained for 3 weeks, 2 months, 1 month within the COVID. President Kufuor's time, policemen were trained 3 months. If they say I'm lying, they should challenge me. So if today we have armed robbers in the police service, yes, the police was not given the opportunity to investigate their background. The politicians brought them. We can't blame the IGP. We can't blame even Kwesi Fori. Even though I have a problem with him, we can't blame any senior police officer because they don't have any say. The politicians bring them. Theirs is to accept them at the training school. You see the letter from headquarters, accept these people because they are brought by either president or vice president or minister of interior and so on. Even the IGP cannot bring his own people. If yes, then
so
the
basic issue is the fact that the enlistment process now has been not only watered down, but virtually thrown to the dogs. There's no proper enlistment going in the Ghana Police Service.
Exactly. The proper ones that are done, as I bet you, 2016, those people that were taken, they are still at home. When people from nowhere went to complete training, yes. And the IGP knows. He is afraid he cannot talk, but I'm talking for him. Nobody can blame him. The enlistment process and the Namfuri IGP Kofi, JYA Kofi, Mr. Namfuri, and the Commissioner Boachi Apia, all have been thrown away. Now, enlistment is not in the hand of the police. The police only publish application letters. Oh, that advert. If you want to come to police, come to police, but it's a lie. The greater part of the people that are coming are from the politicians. And I can tell you that some chiefs have been given protocol and they sell it at 7,000 Ghana cedis, 7,000 Ghana cedis, 120 Ghana cedis, 1,000 Ghana cedis. Yes, to bring people to police. So if you bring somebody who's going to take loan at 10,000 to come to police, if he doesn't take bribe, how is he going to pay off the loan? I'm telling you the truth. I'm not afraid of any of them, so I'm telling you the truth. And I know they'll be clapping in their offices after hearing me right now.
So there's so much to be said about the kind of people we are recruiting into the service. So when you heard 6 police officers involved in bullion van robberies. You were not shocked in a bit.
I'm not shocked at all. Remember, I think 5 years ago or 6 years ago, a police officer in Afram Plain went to hide in the bush, shot a Bullion driver. Luckily, the policeman was not wounded. That he was a Pentecost even elder in the church in Afram Plain, a police corporal also. Yes, the fact that that person's background was not investigated, there was no interview system. So now, after enlistment, you have to be interviewed. It is the interview that you will know by the answers the person is giving, that you will know that this person is actually somebody who is ready, who has the zeal, who will become an effective police officer. No interview is done. So how do you know the kind of people you are bringing in? If somebody is a weed smoker who can be influenced to operate in robbery, because we all know drugs can influence people to enter into robbery, you will know within an hour if the person stands by you during interview that this person is a drug addict. We don't need him in the police service. But all these processes are thrown to the dogs. And that's why I'm giving to you that we have retired police officers like Mr. Watia Pia, Daniel, one DCOP called Daniel, I don't know, I forgot the name. They are all there. They can reach such a help the IGP to tell the president that if you allow politics into our policing system, all the people you produce will be robbers, extortionists, and so on. So then for me, I know West will happen. West, you just mark it on the wall.
West will happen.
If Ghanaians don't start taking their civic responsibility by arresting policemen who start by stealing, by molesting them. You see, the police administration will not allow any policeman to molest anybody because our law says we should be able to stomach all kind of stupidity from the civil public. But policemen, some cannot even restrain themselves. So the moment a policeman starts behaving that way, the civilians should take it upon themselves to report them to the police, to arrest them. And then when this thing starts happening, policemen will learn sense, the service will learn sense. The service will, you see, I'm not disgraced. I'm no more in the service. I'm not disgraced. I'm just laughing because I have left at the right time. If I were to be in the police and this is happening, I will be devastated. And I'm happy I took a right decision. And I know the IGP is ashamed because he is a good man. And today, boys are tarnishing his image. So I am pleading with Ghanaians. What they are doing to politicians now, they should start doing it to the police and the army who are misbehaving themselves on the street. They should start. If you are hooting at a politician, try and hoot at the policeman who is misbehaving on the street. Try and arrest them and send them to the police station. And I tell you, the kind of POMA membership we have now are very strong to deal with this issue. But because of politics, they are afraid to talk. I will talk. ASP Franklin Nate will talk. I said I want police to be sanitized. That is why I left the service. I can cry outside. When I'm inside, I can't cry. So now I'm very happy with this privilege you have given me, that if we want our Ghana to become the Ghana that we had some years ago, look, during President Rawlings' time, we had protocol enlistment. They brought militiamen to the police service, but I tell you, they were scrutinized to the extent that none of them came out as an armed robber. Most of them are chief inspectors, old men now in the service. So protocol is not the problem. But when you bring the protocol, allow the administration to do what it's supposed to do.
And that was the question I'm coming to, ASP. The fact that somebody brings you an unqualified person or one out of the blue, one that you did not properly vet, does not mean that you cannot develop a training model that would essentially help the person to, if not be the best professional officer, at least understand his basic job. As the police also not failing in that direction.
That's what I'm telling you. Now, if there is police training, and all you see is people being bused to the police training centers. The people are being bused to police training centers. I think before enlistment is done, the training models are put in place because they know the caliber of people they are coming to train. But you are there and they bus people to your training center. For instance, your training center takes only 250 people and they bus 600 people to you. Now, you don't know the caliber of people they are bringing to you. How do you develop the model? You don't develop a model when people come to the training school. You develop a model before they come. Now, I am teaching with English and they tell me I should use tree and pigeon because they can't write and read and write. I know escorts were trained in police service long ago. They were escorts. People were escorts. They have never been to school. Have you asked how many months they were trained? They were trained to the extent that by the time they finish 8 months, 9 months, 1 year, the bad nuts are exposed and they are taken off. So, Senna, it's not about the training model. It's about the people. Are they trainable elements? People they bring. Are they trainable? They are not. But they tell you, train them and give them uniform. That is what the politician is saying.
Train them and give them uniform. So which means that you have no other option but uniform them. So there's no way you can disqualify them or stop them from becoming police officers. Your only job is put a uniform on them.
Now, Senna, if the article 201 or so, 201 or so says that the IGP will be appointed by the president and in consultation with the Council of State, and the IGP has been appointed, and then the president tells you that I have bused 300 people to Kwalugu police station training school, go and train them. Will the IGP say no? So these things must start from the head until Ghanaians agree that they will change the constitution that establishes the police service, Article 200, and then that follows that the IGP will be appointed by an independent group of people. Until that is done, the IGP will always be a toy in the hand or the tool in the hand of the politician. I will tell you, look at Abronye. Abronye can insult Dampari because of politics. Abronye cannot sit in class with me. But Abronye can insult IGP and castigate him if it is not because of politics. So this is where it's coming from. So Ghanaians, if we want a good policing, good police officers in the future, we want Ghana to be a country that we will be happy about and be proud of. Let's start working on the constitution to change the mode of how IGPs are brought, and then that will stream down to how enlistments are done, and then the kind of people to be trained. No politician will now force anybody to bring any untrainable watches sellers and so on. Look, there are police officers who are good officers in the service. When they tell the junior rank, go to duty, they wake up at 8 o'clock and go to duty. When they are supposed to be there 6 o'clock, the officer cannot do anything. If he jokes, the junior rank can make him to be transferred by politicians. I think you saw what happened in Takoradi recently, where a DCE was saying that he would transfer somebody to H if it's not politics. You understand? So, Senna, there is a big problem. It must start from the constitution that will work on the kind of person, how IGP is recruited or is appointed, and then that will streamline down to the last recruit, how he is taken.
So at this point in time in our Ghana Police Service, what we are hearing this morning, what we are all worried about, is more or less part of the norm of the service, not the exception.
It's not the norm. I said there are a lot of bad nuts in the service now.
If there are a lot, it can be part of the norm that you certainly will see police officers who are virtually criminals.
Oh yes, there are a lot of criminals in the police service, and as they start coming now, in maybe a year or two, you start telling me that, oh, Franklin, come for your tune, because more will happen. And unless they start working on them, psychologists in the police service, senior police officers who are monitoring them, and their managers at the district levels and regional levels have started taking a critical look at the people they have, and allowing the policemen to police themselves, so that they will report to people they suspect. Then that will happen. Unfortunately, the people committing this crime most of them are with the presidential guard. They are not at even some stations. They are those people placed at national security and other places. So how to monitor them is very difficult. Formally, when you are trained as a recruit, you work under a district officer for 18 months before you are transferred to headquarters or any such operational unit. But today, from the depot, the politician has still said, move these people to this place. They give you where you transfer people